Hello everyone. In this class we will learn about creating stored procedures. A stored procedure is a collection of SQL statements designed to perform a specific function. It is compiled upon the first use and does not need to be recompiled when called again, resulting in higher execution efficiency. Similarities between stored procedures and functions. Both of them can repeatedly execute a collection of SQL statements. Once compiled, they can be executed directly without recompilation. The differences between stored procedures and functions are as follows. 1. Different identifiers. Stored procedures use procedure as the identifier, while functions use function. 2. Stored procedures are created without a return value, while functions require the specification of a return value during creation. 3. Stored procedures do not have a return value type and cannot directly assign results to variables. On the other hand, functions are defined with a return value type, and the returned value must be assigned to a variable when called. 4. Stored procedures are invoked using the call statement, while functions are called using the select statement. First, you need to temporarily modify the statement delimiter. Then, you can use the create statement to create the stored procedure. The syntax is shown below. Delimiter new underline delimiter. Create procedure underline name in vertical line. Out vertical line. In out parameter underline name parameter underline type. Begin. Procedure underline body. End. New underline delimiter. Delimiter. In the case of stored procedures, the keyword used is procedure, and there are 3 optional values for the parameters. In indicates an input parameter. It is the default value, and is used to pass values into the stored procedure when calling it. Out indicates an output parameter. The value from the stored procedure is stored in the parameter specified by out and returned to the caller. In out indicates an input-output parameter. This parameter is passed into the stored procedure when calling it, and after the procedure's operation, the data is returned to the caller. Now let's learn how to create a stored procedure. First, let's start with creating a stored procedure without parameters. Select the current database. Choose Student Info as the current database. In this stored procedure, we will query all the course information. The course information is stored in the course table, so the query will be select multiplied by from course to fetch all the course information. It's a simple stored procedure. We will use the create procedure command to create the stored procedure. The name of the stored procedure is proceedings underline course, since we don't have any parameters to pass. The parentheses are empty. Take a look at the beginning of the statement where we use delimiter to redefine the end symbol. We won't use a semicolon as the end symbol for this stored procedure. Instead, we use the double S symbols. Finally, we redefine the delimiter back to a semicolon as the end symbol. Now let's execute this statement. Query OK indicates the successful execution of the stored procedure. The stored procedure is now created. Let's move on to an example of a stored procedure with parameters. This stored procedure is designed to add a record to the student table. The content of the record to be added is passed by parameters to this stored procedure. Let's take a look at the create procedure statement. The name of the stored procedure is proceedings underline student_id. The parameters are inside the parentheses, and they are separated by commas. There are 4 parameters in total. We know that stored procedure parameters can have 3 types. In for input parameters, out for output parameters, and in out for input-output parameters. In this example, the type of the parameters is not explicitly mentioned, so they default to input parameters. The parameters are used inside the stored procedure body. We can see that there are 4 fields involved in the insertion. The first one is no. There is an insert statement inside the body of the stored procedure. Insert into student. It is used to insert records into the student table. The insertion involves 4 fields: no, name, sex, and birthday. The corresponding values follow the values keyword and are represented by the parameter names. The value of the no parameter is assigned to the field. The value of the name parameter is assigned to the field. The value of the sex parameter is assigned to the field. And the value of the birthday parameter is assigned to the birthday field. The values of the parameters passed into the stored procedure are inserted into the corresponding record in the student table. Let's execute this statement. The stored procedure is now created. Short answer questions. Multiple choice questions. Select one answer choice. Fill in the blanks questions. True or false questions. Program fill in the blanks questions. We have introduced what a stored procedure is and how to create a stored procedure. We hope that everyone can understand and master them well. Thank you all.